In my last Final Fantasy XIV video, y'all made it pretty clear that you wanted a guide all about converting that big ol' pile of Grand Company seals into gil that you can actually use. Now, I'm not going to go over how to unlock a Grand Company or how to do each individual rank up, but this guide will assume that you have unlocked every material that the vendor sells. If you're unaware, at the current maximum rank, you have a cap of 90,000 seals, which is a lot, but for the sake of this video, we're going to pretend that you can have 100,000 just to make the math a little easier and cleaner. Believe it or not, figuring out what the best way is to convert your seals into gil is as simple as doing some math with the following questions. 1. How many seals does the item cost? 2. How many can we buy with 100,000 seals? And 3. What is it currently selling for on the market board? Once we have all of this, it's just a matter of plugging in some numbers and seeing what the potential profit is. For example, Althic lavender seeds. They're sold at the vendor for 500 seals each, meaning we can purchase a total of 200 per stack of 100,000 seals. The current average selling price on the American servers, according to Universalists, is 355 gil. With all of those numbers, our estimated profit is 71,000 gil. Now keep in mind a few things here. Every market and server is different. Items may sell for lower or higher on your particular server. Competition varies throughout the week. Weekends have more people playing, which means more sellers, but it also may mean more buyers. At night, the markets tend to thin out. Keep all that kind of stuff in mind. Although you really don't have to think about it, but just be aware that it exists. My math does not account for stack size at all. It may very well be smarter to sell smaller stacks. In fact, I often do. This also does not account for sale frequency. Some of these may have a pretty high profit, but sell super infrequently or have a much smaller market. Even with that though, it's easy to see some items that you probably want to stay away from. Things like the eagle feathers, cooking sherry, Woot's ore, which is often a trap, glass fiber, and pudding flesh, which I fell for once, and things like Razzik sand. They either don't sell super frequently or they're worth not a lot. Going back to the sale frequency part, filtered water looks like an excellent deal, right? Even if they only sell for 50 gil each, because they only cost 20 seals, that means you can buy 5,000. And all of that would sell for 250,000 gil in profit. That's wild. But the problem here is the sheer number you need to sell. On the Aether server, only about 400 of these are sold each week. So it's going to take a long time to get through that stock. If you're patient, that's fine. But keep in mind there will also be price fluctuations. With the stock availability, combined with the low demand, it's not uncommon to see prices dive down to the single digits from time to time. With all of that said, you probably just want to know the best items to look for, yeah? Again, make sure to do the math yourself before committing. There's nothing worse than spending all of your seals and then having useless items in your inventory. If you're too lazy, you can either make a spreadsheet like I did, or subscribe to my Patreon where I've uploaded a copy of it for you to download and use. Overall, I like to think there are 3 distinct groups that are usually worth buying. First, there are the 200 seal cost items, including animal fat, potash, aqueous whetstones, peacock ore, minium, and hardened sap. I tend to stay away from lime sulfur, but on average it's included as well. These will all net you somewhere between 130,000 and 220,000 gil per 100,000 seals spent. For most traders, these are the bread and butter of the system. Almost everyone defaults to one of or multiple of these. It can be a good idea to buy stacks of each. After all, if you have a lot of seals to spend, but don't want to flood the market, it's wise to spread out your investment to multiple items so you can get your returns faster. You may notice the very high values for borax and razix sap. This is a common thing to see. But again, I must warn you about the sale frequency. These items don't usually sell a whole lot. There were times where I bought even just 25 razix sap and it took months to get it to sell. Adjusting prices multiple times a day, just trying to get them sold. Oftentimes, it can be more profitable to take a slightly cheaper, less valuable item and focus on selling more of it faster, like those 200 seal cost items. There is the final group of items as well, or I should say item, that I sometimes sell, which is glass fiber. Not the glass fiber itself though, but the items you can craft from it. Both tempered glass and luminous fiber can be worth the investment. Both could net you around 150,000 gil per 100,000 seals spent. Depending on your individual market, however, this number could be much higher. The thing here is you're likely selling just a single one at a time. Unless the market for that single item is somewhere around 15,000 gil each, I generally don't bother. Because again, it's more profitable to sell the other items faster, and with this, you actually need other items to craft them, which does cut into the margins. Of course, that also assumes you have crafting classes at a high enough level. Anyway, that's basically it really. It's not all that hard. You don't have to stress about constantly maximizing your profits either. A lot of times I'll just look at the current cheapest price for the usual 200 seal items, and then just buy whatever the most expensive one is, and not really worry about how fast it sells. These are usually the faster selling items anyway. Really, it's up to you how much you want to prioritize profit versus speed. You can go either way. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you save up some gil for whatever you've been meaning to buy. In the meantime, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment with this video's question. Should I do another money making guide? Or should we do something similar to my most valuable mounts list? For either, which specific topic would you like? Let me know. Want to support the channel? There's a Patreon link down in the description below as always. And again, I've already uploaded the spreadsheet that I show in this video, where you can just plug in the current price on your server to find the highest value and not have to worry about doing any of the math yourself. For now though, I think that's it. I'll see you next time.